My name is Tyler Ames. I'm not a superstitious guy. I've worked in the Marine Infrastructure Department for the past 11 years. My job often takes me to remote, isolated spots, buoy systems out at sea, tide stations, or coastal monitoring towers to check if everything's running properly. This story takes place in 2019. It was February, and I had been assigned to a small, uninhabited island about 15 miles off the coast of Northern California, a place called Calvert Rock. You won't find it on most maps. There's an old lighthouse there, decommissioned back in the 1980s. No power, no staff, just a rusted tower and a couple of crumbling storage sheds. I was sent there because NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, had installed a new tide sensor that had gone offline for the past 2 weeks. They suspected a dead battery or a system fault. I was supposed to stay for 48 hours, check the system, replace the battery, and return. I was alone, as usual. The boat dropped me off at 8 a.m. on a Wednesday. The sky was completely overcast. Light wind, calm sea. The island itself was small, barely the size of a football field. In the middle stood that weather-beaten lighthouse, clinging to time. The first day passed like normal. I checked the sensor, replaced the battery, and ran a system reset. But one thing struck me as strange. The electronics were damp. Saltwater residue had soaked into the circuit housing like someone had intentionally splashed it. That night, as I sat on the lower floor eating soup, I heard something upstairs. 3 slow, clear knocks. Thud, thud, thud. I froze. There was no one else on the island. The tower was locked. I turned on my flashlight and looked toward the spiral stairs, but I didn't go up. I told myself it was just the wind. Still, a strange sense of dread sat heavy in my gut. The next morning, I noticed something even weirder. Footprints in the mud. But they weren't mine. The tread was different, the weight deeper, like a heavier person. And the prints only led to the door. There were no prints going back. I radioed the support crew and asked if anyone had come out at night. They said, "No, you're the only one out there." The second night, around 1 a.m., I heard static over the satellite radio. At first, just soft crackling. Then, a voice. Low, muffled, but unmistakably there. "Don't turn off the light." I stared at the radio in disbelief. There was no light on in the beacon room, no power source, no reason. Still, I went upstairs to check. When I entered the beacon room, I stopped cold. There was an old industrial bulb installed, faintly glowing blue, pulsing like a heartbeat. There was no electricity in the lighthouse. That bulb had been missing the day before. Now it was in place, glowing softly, like something was breathing through it. I backed out slowly and closed the door. That's when I heard footsteps on the spiral staircase. Someone was coming up from below. Heavy, slow, deliberate. I turned off my flashlight. 5 minutes passed in silence. Then I crept back downstairs. No one was there, but my bedroll was wet, as if soaked in seawater. My radio had been flipped and placed face down in the corner, like someone had moved it. I didn't sleep that night. The third day, the sensor went dead again. When I opened the housing, the battery had been sliced open like someone had taken a knife to it. This wasn't corrosion. This was sabotage. Later that afternoon, a thick fog rolled in, but it wasn't normal fog. It wasn't damp. It was dry and still, like the entire world had stopped moving. That third night, the knocking came again, but this time it came from beneath the floor. Thud, 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 like someone was standing under the concrete. I pressed my ear to the ground. I swear I heard whispering. Not words, just movement, like something was breathing in wet stone. That's when I decided I was leaving first thing in the morning. When the boat finally came, the fog was still thick. The crew only saw my flashlight and navigated in close. As I climbed aboard, one of the deckhands asked me something strange. "How was the light working last night?" I looked at him. "What light?" "The beacon," he said. "We saw it flashing from 5 miles out, like someone was rotating it by hand." I didn't respond. 2 weeks later, I received a small package in the mail. No return address. Inside was an old photograph, a faded shot of the same lighthouse. Looked like it was taken sometime in the 1950s. In the photo, someone was standing in the upper beacon room window, a silhouette, half hidden in shadow. On the back, scribbled in pencil, was a message. "The light must never go out. It watches back." I burned the photo that night, and I've never gone near that stretch of coast again.